Now, this chapter takes you through a complete job in real time and can be either the most boring, tedious chapter you've ever watched in your life, or the most fascinating. You see, it all depends on your attitude to learning. It'll be just like you're sat behind me, seeing me do an actual job. Most of my work comes from direct clients on email, where you simply get an attachment with a script or maybe a link to watch a video of an original language version, or a rough cut with a computer voice that you have to replace. For game voiceovers, where I have to be a character, sometimes there are illustrations of the character or stills and video from the game itself, so you can understand the type of voice you have to perform and the type of situations that you're in. For this particular example, though, I want to take one from a pay-to-play website, because I often get asked for my opinion and insight into the various sites out there. To be honest, I don't get that much work. From probably 15-20% of my income is from these sites, and that's usually because I'm just so busy doing the direct work from my regular clients that come into my email. I don't really have time to audition for many other jobs. Or maybe my voice wasn't suitable for certain jobs, whatever. So this whole job, by me getting an email notification and clicking the link, and it goes to voices.com. So this is the message on voices.com. It's from Tim Williams in Michigan. I'm attaching the script for a character for our upcoming video game. The voice he did previously is a perfect fit for this guy. Let's use that. Additionally, we're going to be doing some lines for a different character, an epic announcer with an upbeat, over-the-top kind of voice. This will increase the word count up to 600 instead of the 500. Oh yes, I remember doing a demo for this one. So it was 500 and I quoted $250. So this guy's setting it for $300 now. Well, that's nice, isn't it? Some people say, would you mind putting some extra words in for the same price? He's paying me more. That's all right, isn't it? So let's see what that is. Anything else up here? You see, interesting, look, even though the demo said we want a North American English voice, I'm British. So quite often they just don't click this or click the wrong thing. Senior 55 plus video games. Anyway, so there we go. And that's what the word count is. Let's have a look at what the script is anyway, shall we? Right, Excel. Oh, my heart sinks when I see an Excel script, to be honest, because sometimes it's really difficult to see long lines. So this one isn't too bad. This is the script here. I'm sure you work out this is what I've got to say is took. And sometimes you have to correct path, but it says ignore this. Sometimes clients want you to save them as files saved as these names, which is the right pain, but he just wants one single file. So these are the words I've got to say, and this are some notes about pronunciation guides or what this character took is doing, greeting his friend here. So there we go. That's not bad. So I'm going to read through this now, and then I will go to record it. So what I'm going to do now, before I record anything, I go to the demo that I did that he liked. So I'm just going to play it to get the voice in my head.
I recognize those wagons. Human merchants from shoreside came to Rock Canoe's Rest not 2 days ago. Those creatures were humans once, but they've been twisted by Dark Banner.
Oh, very exciting stuff, isn't it? Okay, so I've got the voice in my head now. It's one of them. So we just simply start up a new file, call it Took1, and get into record and flip over to the script. Now, normally when it comes to game voiceovers, when they're this short, I give them 3, because quite often it saves you a lot of hassle afterwards, and sometimes you're not quite sure of the context in where the character is speaking. So,
I'm glad our paths have crossed, friends. The speakers will want to meet with you.
A little more friendly.
I'm glad our paths have crossed, friends. The speakers will want to meet with you.
And a bit faster.
I'm glad our paths have crossed, friends. The speakers will want to meet with you.
Because he could be walking along, a little bit out of breath. I've no idea. So that's why, 3 variations of each line would be really good. So the next one. Took is explaining his previous line, it says on the notes here. So,
the speaker of fire and the speaker of rock, the leaders of my people.
Yeah, okay. So he's explaining who will meet with you. So,
the speaker of fire and the speaker of rock, the leaders of my people.
And more emphasis on leaders.
The speaker of fire and the speaker of rock, the leaders of my people.
Do you see why we're doing 3? Because if you just do 1, you've no idea if it's right or wrong, and then they have to write back and say, can you do number 4, 6, 8, 12, and all this again, and explain. But if you kind of guess, basically, the 3 main contexts that it could be used, without having to ask them, everybody's happy that way. Okay, well, I could go through the whole lot, and I am going to do this. This is a real job for me, but I'm just going to switch off for now and come back to you in edit. So here we are in edit, and we know this beginning bit is me talking to you, and where the and then I'm just going to chop that out completely, obviously. Delete. So here we go.
I'm glad up.
So that's where it actually starts. What I'm going to do is put in 0.5 of a second, half a second before the first thing. Just people like that. Just like it. They don't want you to start exactly at the 0 point. It's all to do with transients and the way a waveform looks on the screen and if it fits at their end, all that kind of stuff. It's just sort of industry standard. Let's have a listen.
I'm glad our paths have crossed, friends. The speakers will want to meet with you.
Take 1, a little more friendly. So I don't need to do that. I said that for your context, so we highlight it, push X.
I'm glad our paths have crossed, friends. The speakers will want to meet with you.
And a bit faster.
I'm glad our paths have crossed, friends.
You don't need to explain your thinking to the end client. I'm only doing this for your benefits. You notice there I just made the gaps a little bit shorter there, quite easy to do.
I'm glad our paths have crossed, friends. The speakers will want to meet with you.
Because he could be walking along, a little bit out. There's me explaining to you all this stuff, so we know that's going to go. And in fact, what you do in between each of the 3 takes, make a slightly longer one. So the next one starts there. I know that from looking at the waveform. So I'm going to highlight the end of the last one to the beginning of the next one. Delete. Now, okay, they're butted together. Obviously, we're not going to leave it like that. So I'm going to push 5 again, and instead of 0.5, it's going to be 3. 3-second gap. Most people like that as well. 3-second gaps, so you can see at a glance which are the individual lines, and there are 3 takes within each. You see, that's exactly 3 seconds. You can see it down here, by the way. So to prove that system works, let's listen to the next one.
The speaker of fire and the speaker of rock, the leaders of my people.
So we're going to edit this all the way through, edit this all the way through until we get to the end. And this is the whole project. And you'll notice at the end there's an even bigger gap because all this is character voice there, and all this is the announcer voice. So you heard the character voice. This is the announcer voice to make it sound a bit different.
Master unique abilities. Compete, climb, conquer, become legendary.
And all that. They're obviously going to mix music with that as well. That'll take you away from the character voice. So that's how you can use one voiceover to do everything. So all that's pretty spiky and all over the shop at the moment. So we're just going to one more time go to normalize, push 1, normalize to -3, and then when it's normalized to -3, push 2. And that's, of course, our famous multi-band compressor set up for my voice, as yours will be set up for yours. And sounds lovely now, doesn't it? But I've said to you before that quite often acting jobs you don't compress. For games, you do, unless you're told off and say, please send it uncompressed. For proper acting, no compression whatsoever. Video games, yes, I think you do need that really. So back on voices.com, this is the agreement which tells you how much you're going to get paid. Messages for that particular job are on there, and these are the upload files. And I've actually uploaded some already, pending client review. So that's what you need to do. And if you need to do any more, you simply browse the file there, upload them, and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you found that useful, looking into an actual job. And although we have compressed time quite a bit on it to get rid of the obvious and repeated sections of work, it should give you an idea of the kind of mindset and tasks you have to do in an average voiceover job via a membership voiceover site like voices.com.